Hi hosts, and welcome to another DigiEduHack coaching call. Today we are going to cover how you can craft your own challenge within the DigiEduHack hackathon scope and how you can actually set up your web page once you have finalized the challenge. For the first part, crafting your own challenge, we are going to again go through the annual theme a bit more in depth to give you a bit more meat on the bone on how you could approach it. We're also going to go through the challenge categories that you can choose to put your challenge under. We have a total of 9, so definitely it is possible for you to find one of those categories and get a good fit for your own challenge. We're going to go through your challenge topic a bit more in depth. What should you include in it? What are your target outcomes? Who's the target audience? And what kind of prizes and incentives can you offer for your participants? And before I go further, if you have any questions about any of the things I cover here today, do reach out either over email, as said, contact@digieduhack.eu. Yes, or then in Discord. All right, let's jump in. So as we mentioned a bit last time, and also you are probably aware at this point, the annual theme of the DigiEduHack Hackathons 2025 is People at the Center of Digital Education. As we all know, not only the education world, but all of the world has become more and more digital as we go. And it can show in the education world with a lot of online classes or completely online courses, teaching and learning a bit more asynchronous. We have apps that we use, online libraries, registrations, different events, all of this taking place online, which means that it's not only changed how education works, but also that a new kind of digital skill set is more or less required or essential to a very good learning experience. What does it mean then to put the person into the center of digital education? We mean here that we want to help you find challenges to create personalized experiences for education, foster meaningful digital experiences both in education and being comfortable with all of the digital tools and digital developments, finding a place for empathy even though we are online a bit more and digital and so on, and so on. Let's jump into our 9 categories. As said, there is a lot, and there's a lot of text here as well, but just click pause and read through the descriptions if you want to focus on these a bit more in depth. The first of our 9 challenges or categories is access and availability. As I just said, in this digital era and digital world that we live in, it is very important for people to participate in this educational change and digital change. And that means that we want to help provide equal access to these digital tools, methods, equipments, infrastructure, so that everyone actually has the potential and chance and possibility to take part of these tools and learn the best way. So how can we provide equal access to digital infrastructures and equipments? How can we help everyone to kind of thrive in this digital age is what you would focus on here. The second challenge category is learning spaces and pedagogies. Good tongue twister. Again, here we are looking for how we can design more creative or out-of-the-box, impactful, fun learning methods and opportunities, again, so that these learning spaces stay motivating and inspiring, even though we are going online. So how can we design new ways to keep things interesting and inspiring? Thirdly, we look at the learning experience. How can you use these new individual or digital tools to improve the individual learning, not only learning on a bigger level, which of course is important as well, but is there still a way to use these tools to tailor and provide learning experience that are personalized for each learner's preferences and routines and whatever the case may be? So how can you use these new digital tools to actually engage with different members of the learners in different ways? The fourth category is individual competences. So kind of riding on that previous challenge a bit, but again, looking at it from a bit of a different approach as well. So how can we, again, as said, not only make the new digital tools and methods accessible for everyone and tailored for everyone's needs, but how can we foster that confidence and use of digital technologies for everyone so that everyone knows how to use them to their advantage, let's say, getting those basic digital skills for every user and every learner. We also look at the organizational capability because, of course, it's not only the person who will learn that needs to be taken into consideration in this new digital era of learning, but also the educator. So how can you use digital technologies to again get a better design for your curriculum or the ways that you are educating or the tools that you have available as an educating organization or so on. So how can you get that digital thinking into the organization and using it to again offer better ways of education? We also look at the well-being in education. Of course, well-being is an important aspect of whatever development you do and anything, but of course it goes in digital education as well. That sense of feeling motivated, excited, safe. You feel like you have the confidence to try new things and stay on top of that new digital world and so on. So this digital education that would let people actually maximize their potential and use those. So how can you promote the well-being in education and what does it look like? 3 to go. Our seventh category that you can choose from is emerging technologies for education. So again, what kind of technologies can you take in? How can you use emerging technologies again to personalize, customize, make better learning experiences, teach the learners how to use those technologies for their own advantage rather than being frightened of them and so on. So how can you use digital technologies and emerging technologies to impact the future learning and guide people on that change? The second to last category, or let's say the last official or ready-made category, is data-driven education. By collecting, analyzing data on the different factors of how your students are learning, what are the learning styles, preferences, needs of different students. Again, how can you use that to tailor the experience and get the best approach for every learner? So how can you better collect, analyze, actually use that data in your educational developments? If these 8 categories feel a bit off from the challenge that you would like to propose in this hackathon chain or pool, don't worry, we also have a general other category. So there is still room for other out-of-the-box ideas that you might have for your challenge. For these, we ask you to reach out Now I see why I stuttered a bit earlier. It is in fact contact@dgeduhack.com. So forget that I said something else earlier. Reach out to us with your challenge description that you are proposing if you want to go the other categories way, and we can help you either validate that it's still valid under the annual theme, or then kind of help you tweak it a bit so that it is part of the annual theme. Perfect. When you are drafting your challenge, in addition to looking at those different categories, a few tips and tricks, or a few things to keep in mind, basically. Keep the overall goal of the DigiEduHack 2025 in mind when you are crafting your challenge. Make sure that it, as I said, reflects to the annual theme, is linked to one of those 9 categories, but it's still not too restrictive. So make sure that it leaves room for innovative ideas and solutions to take place. Your participants can still come up with out-of-the-box ideas, and you haven't given them all of the answers already in the challenge description. To find some inspiration on your challenge, you can look up some research on, again, tech education, since those are our keywords. Look at articles or listen to podcasts. Take part of the DigiEduHack resources, the webinars and the podcasts, episodes, and so on. Anything that you can think of. Talk to people in your network, in your organizations, your students, whatever the case may be. And we also provide you a challenge canvas that you can use to brainstorm ideas. You can also ask for feedback on this canvas if you want from our side, so that we can review it and go through it together. I'll show you that in a few slides. When it comes to formulating your challenge, of course, we want all of those things mentioned to be taken into consideration, and that you are comfortable with the challenge. It's something that you're passionate about, but also think about how you can make it as attractive as possible to the target audience that you are reaching out to. When it comes to accessibility, make sure that the challenge seems accessible for everyone. You might have a very technical or otherwise complex challenge, which is completely good. It's good to challenge our participants, but make sure that the description here is still so that anyone feels that it's easy to read, and I still understand what the goal is behind the hackathon challenge, not only the technical details and so on. We use British English as a default language here, and we ask you to keep that in mind when reading or writing your challenges. And yeah, the same thing here, just keep it structured, easy to read, starting with a general sense of what the challenge is about, and then going further into the resources, details, examples, and so on. And of course, highlight the value to take part in your hackathon as a participant. What are the prizes? What are the, let's say, resources? Are there interesting mentor profiles that will be there that can be nice to network with? Whatever the case may be, all of the incentives that you can think of so that someone would actually want to take the step to apply. The challenge canvas that I told you about looks pretty much like this. So here again, you can look at the impact that you are hoping to your hackathon to provide, or yeah, so to say. What are the outcomes that you're looking for? What resources and input would be needed to create these solutions? And of course, what do we expect to create in this hackathon? A bit more detailed. So you can use this if it helps you and you are still figuring your challenge out, and you can send it to us if you want us to review it together with you as well. Alrighty. When you have your challenge topic, all of those things mentioned are done. We still ask you to review it once more using these bullet steps. So can you make sure that you answer every of these questions in your challenge? First of all, what is the challenge itself on a high level? Can you describe it in a tweet? So is it one that can be described in a nutshell, let's say high level, this is what it is about. Can anyone understand it, regardless of background, of expertise, and so on? Do you have a short and clear title for it? It's snappy, we know exactly what it's about. Does it show why the challenge is relevant, interesting, important to solve? Does it clearly state who should come up with solutions to the challenge? Who's the target group? Are there any requirements? Let's say any specific knowledge that someone needs to have in advance, any specific platforms that the participants will need to use, or data sets, or whatever the case may be. Are there any requirements from your end? What are the resources available? Mentoring, again, different maybe platforms, maybe something physical that the teams can use in developing their projects, whatever the case may be. What format can the solutions take in this hackathon? Do they need to develop just a concept? Does it need to be an application, a website, just a pitch deck, whatever the outcome is here? We also look at the target audience here. So who is the target audience of your solutions? Who are these solutions going to be made for? And then lastly, as I said, if there are prizes, what are they? Who gets them? And under what conditions? Is there something that needs to be achieved, or some terms for these prizes? Excellent. Let's jump into an example based on everything that was covered. Here you can see an example challenge on the DigiEduHack page. And as you can see on the top here, you have the name of the hackathon, and then also just an overlooking high-level description of the idea of your challenge. So what is the challenge about? And then some contact details already so that people can reach out. Then all of the important dates, format, category, and so on. Then we go into the challenge itself a bit more in depth. What is the challenge? Again, a bit more detailed. And yeah, what's the goal of this hackathon? What are we hoping to achieve? Again, here, make sure that it's easy to read, at least still at this level. Then we have those expectations and requirements that I talked to you about. Is there something that needs to be done? Is there something that they need to use? Whatever the case may be. What are the requirements to take place and part of this hackathon? Then we go into what you offer, so your available support. Is it something, again, something more specific, like a platform or a tool or data sets or something like this? Is it mentoring? What are the materials that you are able to provide? And then you can add these as files as well, so that you can download the participant materials and a participant guide. We are looking into the guides later as well, so you don't need to stress about them now, but just so that you know that there will be a space for that. Then we go into the schedule of your hackathon, what happens and when, and then you have the profiles here of your mentors and judges. So again, this works like a good incentive for a networking opportunity that your participants will get to actually discuss with these mentors and judges in your event. And then we have the prizes there. What can you win? Are there any conditions, and so on? And there's always something that you can offer, even if you wouldn't have monetary prizes. I'll go through these things later in the coming slides as well, but just don't stress about the money part if you won't have monetary prizes. Excellent. Then we look at your target outcomes a bit. What do you want to see in your event? What are you hoping to get out of it? Take these factors into mind when you're making your challenge, because then you can make it as clear as possible that the participants know exactly what is expected, and everyone are their happiest at the end of the event. So what kind of solutions are you looking for? What would be the ideal outcome for a winning solution? What shape should it be delivered in? Is it a pitch deck? Is it a demo? Do you give them a template of a canvas, or whatever the case may be? And then you have a example quote there as well. It's also important to look at your target audience, as I mentioned a few times. Who is your ideal participant? Based on the outcomes that you're looking for, who's the best audience to attract? Who would have the best chances of giving you those solutions that you're looking for? Any specific knowledge, skills that would be valuable? Demographics, where are they likely to be? Where can you catch their attention? Specific universities, specific, yeah, whatever the case may be. And here to those prizes that I talked to you as well. You can have a monetary prize. It's maybe a classic motivator for an individual and a team to join. So if you have the chance to either yourself or through a sponsor get a monetary prize, very good. The bigger the prize pool, the more attractive the event. Yeah, can't get around that, unfortunately. But that's not the only prize you can give. If you still want to go material/financial way here, you can give the winning teams or all participants, however you want, exclusive swag. It can be t-shirts, water bottles, whatever the case may be. Maybe you can have some techs from a partner. It can be headsets, cameras, IoT devices, whatever the case may be, or then just a basic compensation for teams to join, not tying them to actually win. So there's a participation grant to take place. It can be also something like free accommodation or partially covered accommodation, travel grants, gift cards, whatever the case may be. So all of these things is something that you can consider. If you want to hand the prize in the form of some opportunities, you can give the winning teams trips. Maybe they can visit some conference and showcase their winning solution. Maybe there's an internship or summer job interview available, networking opportunities, any visibility again where they can discuss further about their idea with someone important, or just showcase their idea as well. Working spaces in a co-working space, whatever the case may be. So brainstorm with your team. What would you have access to either on your own or in your sponsor pool together? And these can be, as said, something that is still monetary, so to say, or then something that maybe you can get around on that side as well. If you know that you don't have the budget to pay for a trip or whatever the case may be, you can also think of maybe mentoring programs with your mentors. Human resources and feedback on the project is always super appreciated as well. And as I said here, or mentioned briefly, use your sponsors. Sponsors can often offer something valuable, even if it's not a monetary prize, something else. Is there something available in their networks or from their sites that you could use as a prize? Excellent. So that's that on creating your challenge, thinking about the visual side of things. How will it look on the website, and what things should you take into consideration in terms of fitting into the annual theme, fitting the target group and the outcomes, and making sure they align, and so on. When you are done with your challenge and you want to register on the page and actually submit your challenge, this is how you should do it. You will find a website guide that is created to kind of support this process of how to register as a user, what's the process of first creating your profile and then submitting your challenge, what is your personal area in the DigiEduHack page, where can you see a bit more details about your own challenge, and how do you manage your participants, approve them, reject them, and then a bit more about that Discord server that was briefly mentioned last time as well. So before you actually submit your challenge, you have to register to the DigiEduHack website. You have 3 ways of doing this. First is that you can go to the homepage of DigiEduHack 2025, of course, and not 24, and then click on Become a Host. The other way is to go to the part on the website that says Want to become a host, and then click on the black banner that says Become a Host. Or then you can go the third option and click from the menu bar on the login button, and there just click sign up if you are registering for the first time. So 3 ways to go about it, but all on the same website. So just behind one website, 3 ways. Once you are logged in, you choose or click on the Host a Hackathon button on the page, and then you fill in your challenge submission form. If you need help with this, you can look at our challenge example in the resources section of the website, or you can email us and we'll help you out. Once you've submitted your challenge, it will be reviewed by our team, and within 2 days of the challenge submission, it will be approved and published on the website, unless we feel like there's something that we still need to add or something that is still required. And in this case, we will contact you within that same time frame. Just as a heads up, if you start filling in your challenge and you don't submit, you might lose the information that you've already created. So once you've decided to actually submit, you are on the safe side if you start the process and do it all the way until the end. So from host a hackathon or starting to fill in the challenge submission form to actually submitting. You can edit it later as well. So it's not the final form, but just so that you don't lose everything that you've done, we advise you to fill in the form and send it in all in one process. I mentioned the British English earlier today, but I will say it again. So try to use British English when creating your challenge page. And also you are able to add a personalized banner to your challenge page so that it looks a bit different, even though the layout and the kind of structure of the pages are all the same. You can use these banners and images to kind of differentiate yourself a bit from the other hackathons. So do use that. We are providing you a marketing kit so that you can still follow the DigiEduHack visual identity, but it gives you the option to still add your own images on those banner kind of backgrounds and so on. And make sure that your address field follows the guidelines written in the challenge submission form so that you are able to actually publish under that field or address. Excellent. Once your challenge is up, it exists on the challenge page, you can start receiving registrations, and participants will register to your challenge. You will receive email notifications when you get more registrations, and then when you go to your personal area in the My Participants tab, you will be able to, first of all, see these participants. So who are the registered individuals and what are their contact details. You're also able to confirm a participant, and that will trigger an invitation email when they are notified that you have accepted them or confirmed them as a participant in the hackathon. If you have any, again, selection criteria or criteria that needs to be filled in order to take part of the hackathon, and a person registers but they don't fill that criteria, or you see that they wouldn't be a match for your hackathon, you can also refuse a participant, and this triggers a refusal email to the person. So you can manage your participants on that page. We ask you, though, to kind of keep a good atmosphere here, that when or if or when you refuse or reject a participant, that the basis here is clear and it's mentioned in your challenge page. As I said, if there are specific requirements and this person clearly doesn't fill it, they can kind of understand why they have been rejected as a participant. And with that said, if you haven't joined yet, please go about it the 3 ways described earlier. And if you have any questions with the content that was mentioned, or you want us to review your canvas, or whatever the case may be, reach out to us, and we'll keep chatting over email as well. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you back again in our next coaching call.